Here are 5 strong signs to know if your animal is in heat. Number 1, increased activity around males. Once your animal is in heat, it seeks the male by itself. This includes frequent urination around the male, following the male around, in fact, rubbing her body against the body of the male animal. Whilst your ewe odo is in heat, it is always available for the buck or ram to pursue it. She draws the male, she goes close to the male, and she goes as far as urinating to allow the male or to draw the attention of the male to sniff it, leading to mounting. Number 2, restlessness and tail wagging, especially in goats. When you see your female being restless, mounting other females, wagging her tail, bleating than she normally does, paying less attention to feeding but more attention to making noise by bleating, by wagging her tail, by frequent urination in order to draw a male towards herself, this is a clear sign that she is in heat. Then you should take action by either isolating her with a bag that you prefer, or introducing a bag to her if they are in semi-intensive system. Number 3, a slight swelling or reddish vulva. This sign can be noticed if you are close to your animals enough. If you don't observe them enough, this sign can go unnoticed. If you observe your animals well enough, you will realize that whilst it is in heat, there is a likelihood that it is going to have a slightly swollen, reddish, moist vulva. And sometimes, not all the times, sometimes there could be mucus discharge from the genitals. Whilst you see this mucus discharge, it is a clear sign that your female is actually in heat. And sometimes, instead of it being reddish, it can be rather dirty instead. Because of the mucus activity on the vulva, it may attract dirt. Because the vulva is moist, dirt may be on it. This is a sign. Number 4, reduced appetite. Now, like I always say, all these depend on how often you monitor and understand your animals. If you understand them well enough, these signs are easily noticeable. But if not, they can pass by without you noticing. So you can observe that your animal has lost its appetite. It will relatively eat less and show more desire towards eating. At that time, once it is on heat, it's going to direct its energy towards seeking a back to itself. So it might show, dull behavior towards feed and more action towards the back or the ram. At this point in time, energy is directed towards reproduction. The animal might be dull or give you some signs that you might mistake as illness in the animal. Do not panic. This is just a reproductive behavior. And more importantly, your goat, your sheep is telling you that at this point in time, it needs a male. Now, if you are someone interested in good genetics and have got to the extent of spending money in getting a good buck or a good ram, this is the time to be intentional and serious about what you do, because you want your buck crossing your doe or ewe. You want your prime male to cross your females. I have always spoken about intentional crossing. This is the time to achieve that. Why am I saying that? Bucks or ram are able to identify the heat signs of a female even better than you, the farmer. So if you don't identify these signs and cross your animals intentionally, and of course with your preferred buck or ram, a different buck or ram will cross your animal, and in that case you will be running at a loss because you bought a good ram or a good buck at a very high price, feeding it with very high feed, and at the end of the day it is not doing a job. Most farmers want the male to do their job. No, you have to be intentional about it. Number 5, and this is usually the happy ending process, your goat allow itself to be mounted. I want all of you to know that if a goat or sheep, all ruminants, they will not allow themselves to be crossed unless if they are on heat. So once you see your female allowing itself to be mounted by males, that is a sure sign that is in heat. And of course, that is what you desire, what you want. You don't want the heat sign of your, or the heat period of your animals to pass, you want them to be crossed, and of course to be crossed by your desired buck or ram. So once you ensure this and your female allow herself to be mounted, it means you've achieved the goal of heat period. If you find this video helpful, consider subscribing or following Farm North for more.